the film looks at the hard, challenging parts of a family journey, but also it's got a lot of joy.
Hi all, it's Silas Ram, AsianCultureVulture.com. How are you doing? It's great to have your company. We're back on the film festival trail. It's our home film festival, the London Film Festival. It's coming up in October. We just met with a bunch of filmmakers whose films you're going to be hearing a lot about during the festival. So let's go and find out more. So tell us about Motherboard.
So it's a film about parenting, about motherhood, and it begins when I found myself at 38, single, pregnant and broke, and obviously had the baby who is now 20, and it documents the journey, the next 20 years of raising my son on my own.
You started doing, taking video and stuff?
Yeah, but my early career was in TV as a self-shooting director, so I had my old DV camera. So in a way, Jim became my subject because it was hard to keep working in the industry. And I filmed him initially on DV cam and then 5 generations of smartphones, which meant it was sort of easy, accessible way of filming, low budget. So it's a smartphone feature.
And did it start as a very personal thing and became something more, or did you always have a mind of making a documentary?
Yeah, it's a pretty personal story, and it's also very much Jim's story. Because it was about the big sort of pivotal moment was when Jim decided he wanted to meet his dad for the first time when he was a teenager.
Okay.
And then that was closely followed by a breast cancer diagnosis for me. So the film looks at the hard, challenging parts of a family journey, but also it's got a lot of joy.
And how did it feel to be the principal subject of a
of
film
course
with your mother?
I know, it's quite rare, of course, for someone my age to be so involved in a project like this. I think it was one of them things, my mum pitched it to me when I was quite a bit younger. At first it felt quite, abnormal. Understandably, it's a very weird offer almost. But to be honest, now it feels like a second nature to me. It's like I've kind of grown up with a camera in my face. I'm an actor as well, so I'm kind of now used to it in a sense. So it's kind of like a second sense to me. And it's been an amazing project to be a part of. I don't regret it one bit, so yeah.
And he's got rough cut approval.
Yeah,
so
that's always the key.
I don't use anything that he's not all right with.
Okay, yeah, sure. How does it feel to bring it to London? This is a world premiere, or?
Its world premiere was at CPH in Copenhagen, but this is a London premiere.
Okay.
And it's a very London film because
where is it set in London?
We live in London, so we live in South London, Camberwell.
Oh, okay.
So it's great that it's got a London home, really, because the film is such a London, and Jim is such a kind of London young guy,
And what are the reflections you have, having made it? What do you think people? What kind of subjects will people be talking about after watching the film?
I think, the biggest thing for me is that families now come in all shapes and sizes. And I think it reflects the sort of diversity of families. There are families where there's 2 mums, 2 dads, 1 mum, 1 dad, grandparents. And it's a celebration of that.
Right.
And then I think it's also a film that's about the way that you get through the tough times. Because although it's quite dark and we have some difficult things to encounter,
so you wanted to get that in the film.
Come through
you
it with a lot.
haven't shied away from showing the dark.
No, it's like it documents all of my cancer treatment, and then lots of discussion with Jim about what that was like, because that's tough when you've got one parent,
I mean, that must have been quite scary when you learned that your mum was with and I don't know what. Do you have any relationship with your father? How is that? Is that documented in the film?
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's a kind of hard subject to kind of get into.
Yeah.
Of course, I have seen him in the past. I know him quite well. What I like about the film is I don't feel like it paints an awful picture of him. We wanted to make sure that it was a fair representation and it had no direct relation to him. Once again, we're not trying to make him as this villain, know. And also towards the end of the film, in more recent times, I have a very kind of different way of looking at it. Of course, growing up, it's a lot more of a harder bullet to bite. But now I'm 20 years old, it kind of feels like a single parent doesn't feel weird to me anymore. It kind of feels like just part of who I am as a person. And if I have kids one day, which I hope to, it won't feel so foreign to me. It hopefully will feel like second nature, and I want to be as good as parent as my mum is to my own kids one day, hopefully. So yeah.